Okay, today we are working on washing machine maintenance. Let's go. So here is the washing machine in question we will be performing maintenance on today. It is a model 110.202.32711, and this is a Kenmore. You can find your data sticker or data plate usually underneath the lid of your washing machine or somewhere in that vicinity. So today we will be performing a deep clean and inspection on this unit. And if you ever noticed your clothes smell musty or the washing machine smells musty after you've ran a load of laundry, this video will help you with that issue. First thing to do here is turn off the hot and cold water valves to the washing machine and unplug the washing machine. With it unplugged, I'll gently shimmy it out so I can work on it. We're going to start by removing this back panel. And you'll need to use some Torx bits to remove these Torx screws. Kind of this star shape. You can buy them at your local hardware store. So carefully remove all these screws. These two bottom screws you see, loosen it so you can move this front top lid forward and up. So you can hinge it back out of the way so we can work on the tub. You can remove the hot and cold water lines if you wish. I don't find it necessary. They're plenty flexible enough. And I just simply shimmy the panel down the water lines so it's out of the way. We can take a look at what's inside the control panel. See, there's a cold and hot water solenoid valve. There's your power line. It's on the back side of your control knobs. So I'm just inspecting everything for cracks, broken wires, burnt wires, anything that looks out of the ordinary. This unit's 5 years old, still looks nice and clean, works properly. It's the back side of your water level and wash temp switches. So let's go ahead and tilt the console and lid carefully backward. Be careful because the lid might flop down.
Woo!
Here is the safety switch for your lid. So if you need to ever replace that, that's where it is. Now I'm going to gently check the suspension system. All four of the rods and springs are intact. Nothing's broken or missing. Okay, now I need to release this tub ring from the outer tub by gently detaching these tabs that you see here I'm pointing to with my screwdriver. Those little plastic tabs are all around this plastic tub ring. Be careful doing this. You obviously don't want to snap or crack or break off any of these plastic tabs. Now to remove this agitator, we first need to remove this plastic cap. Take a flathead screwdriver and gently pry up on the plastic cap right there at the little notch that you see here. Next, we need to remove this bolt that you see down inside the agitator. So I just simply use a socket, an extension, and my ratchet to undo that bolt. And then the entire agitator assembly will simply lift out of the tub.
Woo!
Next, we need to remove this large spanner nut. They do make a special tool for that. Here's what that spanner nut wrench looks like. Part number TB123B. You can buy them just about anywhere online. So I'm going to spray some penetrating oil on the threads for the spanner nut to make it easier to break loose. I do not have the spanner tub nut wrench, so I'm going to use a hammer and a dull, flat bladed chisel, basically. You don't want to use something sharp because obviously you'll just dig into the metal nut, but this works just fine. There's your spanner nut.
Woo!
Now we can lift out the tub. And you see all the nasty, dirty water that sits in the bottom of the outer tub all the time. Pretty gross. There's where your smell comes from. So I'm just going to use my shop vac to vacuum out most of this water. And then I'm going to use a mild bleach and water solution to spray down this outer plastic tub. And then I'm going to use a nylon scrub brush to scrub everything down. And again, I have an exhaust fan running, and it's a very mild bleach solution. Wipe it out with an old rag or paper towel. I'm going to remove this filter here and clean that. You can see that's your suction for the water pump, that little hole right there. So even leaving the lid open all the time between loads, you're still going to have a lot of standing water in the bottom of this wash tub, and that could lead to stagnation, stinky water. If you get any value out of this video, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel move up in the YouTube algorithm so we can help more people with their maintenance and repair tasks. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use my shop vac to vacuum out all that water. And then I'll wipe it out real good with the rag. Now it smells nice and fresh and clean. Good to go.
Wow.
I want to mention too, if you have a laundry room with a floor drain like this one, it was underneath the washing machine. If the P-trap is dry where the water evaporates, that can allow that stinky sewer gas smell into your house. So make sure you keep your P-trap full of water. Now I'm going to clean this plastic ring in the bathtub. And again, it's just water and a tiny bit of that mild bleach cleaner. So everything will be deodorized and disinfected. Now I'm going to clean the metal basket. You can see all the hard water deposits and dirt. So I'm going to use the Lime Away, breaks down calcium rust, etc. Could also use degreaser 409. Probably even just try some regular dish soap and water. Scrubs off fairly easily. You will hear a sloshing noise coming from the top of this basket inside this plastic part. That's part of the balancing of the basket when the washer is running. So don't panic, that's supposed to be in there. Don't drain it out, just leave it be, that's normal. Now we're going to remove this back panel, more Tech screws, hold it in place. We're going to inspect the motor, the belt. This is a belt-driven wash tub on this unit. And we'll inspect the water pump. Okay, let's go down here. We'll inspect this wiring harness. It looks good. We'll inspect the springs. They look good. Drain hose looks good. There's your water pump. Looks good. Capacitor right there. And there's your belt. And there's your electric motor. So some washers are direct drive. This one is not. It obviously has a belt that spins the transmission, that spins the wash tub. There's your transmission or gearbox. Here's a quick parts breakdown of these main components. Again, if you type in your model number into Google, you can find repair parts fairly easily. Now we'll go ahead and reinstall our back panel. Everything clean, looking good. We'll reinstall that inner basket, reattach that spanner nut, and I'm simply going to use my flat chisel and a hammer to tighten it down real well. I want to mention, if you ever have a broken appliance, an HVAC system, always get a second and third opinion. If you have a company comes out and says, hey, you need to replace the entire appliance, ask them why. They need to prove to you what's wrong with the unit. Don't just take them at their word for it. Sometimes it's cheaper to repair an appliance or an HVAC system. Sometimes it's cheaper to replace the entire system or the entire appliance. But just do your homework. Make sure you educate yourself so you don't get taken advantage of. This plastic ring just snaps back into those little tabs. We'll reattach the top lid assembly. You can see there's little metal hooks in there on the front that hook on. And then those two screws on the back right there. And this little cover plate. Yeah, I'd always recommend getting at least 3 price quotes, especially if you're going to buy a new appliance or anything new. New car, new HVAC system, anything. Don't just go with your first price quote. Right? Some companies may try to upsell you on something that you don't need so they can get their commission or their end of year bonus. However, there are honest tradesmen out there. They're not all looking to take advantage of you. But again, just do your due diligence. That completes this project. Please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching.